Let's do. You want to do some news?
Let's do it.
All right. All right. So our final topic is going to be a pilot for something that we hopefully want to do eventually. So if you guys enjoyed it, let us know. But what we're gonna do is, man, I'm gonna change this. We need a 2-minute like timer thing that goes purr when it goes off. So I think I'm gonna do. No. Bolton, did that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's actually, I mean, for me at least, I can hear it pretty well. So.
Oh wow. No, I'm not doing that. All right, let's do Bolton. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Cool.
Setting it. Okay, so here is our timer. So you can hear it. You said right, really well.
Yep.
I'll try to put it up closer to the mic. At 2 minutes, we are done with this topic. So we're gonna have a couple topics that we're gonna run down, and when we are done, when 2 minutes are up, we are done, and we move on to the next one.
Yeah, this is kind of inspired by Pt.5.
Yeah.
So hopefully it goes well, and I think you guys will enjoy it.
All right, so let's get started here. Oculus Rift as early as March, when you had a Vive, an HTC Vive, which is the Valve's 3D VR experience, you could download Oculus apps and play them. Then in around May or April, Oculus applied DRM to their software and was disallowing people who had a different VR headset to play Oculus apps. Recently now, though, Oculus has Polygon and Kotaku have reported that Oculus has lifted the DRM restrictions completely and allowed people who have a Vive to play Oculus apps. I think this is pretty cool.
Great.
I think you need to do this. I don't like splitting the small niche market as it is right now into 4 different separate VR headsets only is only going to hinder the consumer's experience and hinder the developers' outreach to get great games and apps in front of people to help build this industry and what it needs to be, right? So it's in their best interest to share and allow people to experience it across platform.
And if you think about it, I mean, it's literally not really groundbreaking, but it's bringing back virtual reality. And they all kind of have to get together and work as a team to build this, or it's just going to fall flat on its face.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're going to sit there and then go, oh, I have my stuff, you have your stuff. It's just like the beginning of gaming, quite honestly. Granted, yeah, now you have consoles, but at first, you really just want to build that core group of people. So if you hinder it and kind of put those restrictions on it, people won't flock to it. I'm already kind of skeptical about it. I don't think I'm not a big virtual reality guy. I don't like going to see 3D movies and stuff like that as well. So if you really think about it, build it, work as a team.
Yeah, work as a team. And look, the current and like the other thing too is Oculus is going to get really they're going to get bad PR flack. The Vive doesn't have this. A lot of the people don't have this, so we should open it up.
Right, and if they all work
we're out of time. We got to start. We got to go next. All right, you're up.
Okay, so Clash of Clans was just bought by Tencent, which has a major stake in League of Legends. They're stating that they're going to keep the game or the what is it? Supercell, Supercell, as its own entity and everything. They're going to still work and do everything on their own, so they say. So it's going to really, I think it might bring a little bit of change to the game at some point. But they actually bought 84.3%.
84.
So they are
84. Wow.
Yeah. So a huge stake in it. So honestly, in the past, when other things are bought and everything, yeah, you're gonna have some influence on it. So, do you play Clash of Clans? I don't know if you've ever
played it for 2 years straight, never spent a dime, and it took me 2.5 years to get to the second to last tier.
Right, I did the same exact thing. I'm weird. I don't like to pay. I'll pay $60 for a game, but I won't pay $2.
We're old school, man.
Yeah. So it's
Tencent. So you mentioned they own Riot,
right?
And then.
Or their major stake, in Riot, pretty much.
Yeah. So. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I thought that was timer. I'm sorry.
Nope, that was.
Okay. So, with that being said, so is it now maybe is League of Legends gonna kind of get influenced by them, or what's going to happen there? What do you think?
No. League of Legends has been owned, or has Tencent has had stock in League of Legends for a long time, and they have proven time and time again that Tencent is just interested in acquiring companies so that they can reap some benefits. They also have stake in Glue. They have stake in a bunch of companies. They do not force things. They let the companies do their thing. So I don't think we'll see any difference in Supercell's day-to-day activity.
Good.
They've tried a bunch of times, and in the past for publishers to do this, and it always fails. So I think Tencent is definitely pretty up to date. So let's get started to the next one. You heard that bell, right?
Yeah,
okay,
I gotcha.
So IGN has reported that Microsoft has tried partnering with Nintendo and Sony before making the Xbox. What they say is that they've interviewed Xbox co-creator Ed Fries, and he said when they first started thinking about doing the Xbox, they met with Nintendo and they sat down with Iwata, and they were like, look, this is like, if you guys want to do the hardware, we just want to do the
software.
They just wanted to do the infrastructure for the server support and stuff, because they had a lot of experience. They're like, look, we can do a really great like live experience, multiplayer experience for you guys. They said no, and so then after that they went to Sony and was like, look, Sony, if you want to do the same deal, they were like, look, can we work together? Because Bill Gates actually sat down with Sony and was just like, like, we just want to basically do the server infrastructure, and they said they didn't want that deal either. And so if they were like, look, if they're not going to want to do it, then we'll just go back to the drawing board and be like, look, can we create our own hardware? And so they did, and naturally it was very fascinating because their deal was this multiplayer live experience, and it was the foundation for the Xbox, and what really helped Xbox set itself apart from all the different consoles at the time and propel it into 360's era of great multiplayer shooter games, and really help it kind of lead the pack in that time.
Great is in your opinion.
I would argue that 360 had a better life than the PS3 for sure.
Right. And it's crazy that that's how it all kind of started, and they pretty much created their own competitor.
By
not
saying no.
Work with them. Yeah. So and in the world of business, that's crazy. And
for Sony, but for Nintendo, it made a lot of sense. Nintendo was off doing its own thing.
Right, exactly. And I think Sony would have reaped more benefits, or actually probably Nintendo at this point, because if you really think about it,
Nintendo's online system is terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. So, and with that being said, we'll go into our next topic, which is Zelda having a multiplayer platform.
Oh.
Which will be crazy. I mean,
Zelda's never had... Well, Zelda has a multiplayer before. With the Four Swords. But I don't have a lot of info on that.
Yeah, I don't either. That was on, that was still on Wii, but they're kind of going more towards, I think, like a more multiplayer competitive in Zelda, which I think that might be a great route to go. Yeah. So think about that. Almost have like a Smash Brothers kind of style to it, which would be, I think, very good for Nintendo. And not only that, have Zelda a huge name, a huge history, and giving it that competitive edge in the multi-realm. Because what other games do they really have that's a good multiplayer game?
Sure, I don't think Smash Brothers is the way to go. I think you want to be different than that. I think if you look at, I think Skyrim had some multiplayer, but if you look at those open world games that have multiplayer like GTA, I'll bet it's going to be really different. But I think you can actually get more game modes associated with that, like capture the flag, things like that. Like, I think that could be really fun for a Zelda game. Incorporating environmental puzzles and stuff like that, I think would be really fun, and I think would be a great addition to a game that's already being regarded as the most innovative Zelda, since the 3D incarnation, right? So yeah, I'm really excited about what that can do. You can also look at Uncharted or Tomb Raider for inspiration in what maybe multiplayer can be like.
Right. And the other thing is that with this Zelda game, actually, I'm even thinking about just buying a Wii now, because I don't even have a Wii, and the new system that's coming out with this Zelda, I'm like, okay, I'm willing to almost at this point say, I want to give it a shot.
Yeah, but if you think about what it would cost you for one game, you're talking about $260.
I know.
Maybe even more. Maybe 310. How much is? I don't know how much a Wii U is these days, but
I don't know.
It's expensive.
We'll find out when I buy it.
Yeah. Speaking of, Speaking of the next console, the Nintendo Next, aptly named, is rumored to be using cartridges. We have a history of Nintendo using cartridges. The biggest one is when Nintendo had the opportunity to go to discs during the N64 era, and PlayStation went discs instead. And PlayStation benefited heavily from it, from having better performance, bigger memory, being able to do higher like graphics and stuff like that. So there's a lot of pros to going discs. For Nintendo to use cartridges feels like a step backwards, in my opinion.
Right.
It does two things. It feels like it's a step backwards, but it also feels like they're only doing it. Like, this is going to be a handheld system. It is going to be a 3DS predecessor. And if that's the case, then I'm looking at the Wii U as an investment that I might want to get behind and buy a Legend of Zelda. But which by the way is also, I think, confirmed for the Next. If the Next is not a handheld system and is the next big system, it's going to be cartridge based. It seems, again, a step back from the Wii U, because it has a lot of hindering. Load times are better, sure, but they can't put as much on there.
Right, and it might protect, CDs and everything. You get scratched or done. Cartridge you can ding up.
Cartridge is also the brick and mortar style to look at it. Like, everything is going digital these days. Why are they not accepting that? It seems very odd to me.
True. Yeah, because everything is downloadable, and you don't even need actually a physical item. You can go that route. Maybe they might incorporate that, but what are we getting back into? Am I going to be blowing into a cartridge and going back and forth, and just get it perfect like I did on my Nintendo?
Yeah.
It's my original Nintendo that, or it definitely is a step back. Why would they want to go that route? It doesn't make sense.
It's cheaper. No, I don't even think it's cheaper at this point. I think discs would be way cheaper.
More expensive.
Yeah, so I really don't understand this call at all.
Cool. So, with that being said, PS4 and Xbox and everything, their competitors, a lot of things have been released with their exclusives for this year for their games. So, to kind of run down the list a little bit here. Now, of course, I'm an Xbox guy. Clay, of course, you're an Xbox guy. I'm a PlayStation guy. Yeah. So, it could sound a little heavy-handed here because there's a huge list of PlayStation 4 that has exclusives on theirs. And honestly, on Xbox's side, they only have a select few. You have Gears of War, of course, is one. But Cobalt, I don't know if you've heard of that, Quantum Break, and Super Hot are your three real exclusives for Xbox One to release this year, at least. So it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be very competitive. Those games better live up to their hype. Yeah. I've only really heard of Quantum Break. I haven't heard of the other two. But if we're looking at PlayStation's side, they got a game called Amplitude, The Witness, Mega Dimension, what is it, Digimon Story? I know people are really into that. I'm not really big into that. Digimon, that's it, okay. Gravity Rush, Firewatch, Street Fighter 5. Think about that.
That's already out.
Is it already out?
Yeah.
Okay. So, MLB The Show is already out. There's Ratchet and Clank, of course, and a bunch of others. So,
Ratchet and Clank is the only one that really stands out to me as something that's really kind of pushing it over the edge. I think, yeah, I'm not really too concerned about the differences between the exclusivities of the consoles. I'm also not a big fan of exclusivities either.
Yeah, and I don't get that. Just release it for everything. There was a game a long time ago that only came out on Xbox. It was one of the first games. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a kind of an action RPG. And is that the timer?
Yep. You can wrap up though.
Oh, so it was an action RPG that I really wanted to play, but it was only on Xbox, and I never got to play it. And it was based in Roman times, and it pissed me off. So
yeah, they're no help to anybody.
Right.
So speaking of disappointments, IGN has asked the question: is Mighty Number 9 the biggest disappointment of a game of this year, or ever for that matter? And I have to wonder that myself. The reviews are coming out. Polygon has given the review a not so good score of 5.0 across the board. IGN has not giving it that good of a score as well. The Metacritic average score is 56, a user score of 4.2. Game Machine 68 out of 100, Xbox Achievements 55, GameSpot 50. A lot of these people are just destroying it across the board. It's a little bit. It's crazy to think about, and I think that is the biggest disappointment. Infumame got Kickstarter backed. It took him 3 years, multiple delays. He's shattered the Kickstarter, so he had plenty of money. It sounded like he was trying to make a AAA game with an indie.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, with a indie budget, and it was just stretched too thin, and it was too ambitious. I think this is a lesson in scope, and he needed to just really focus the quality in small increments, and I think we would have had a better game. But instead, we have a pretty buggy game that doesn't feel right, and just including there's a ton of things that people have tried to get back, get their rewards from, and they still haven't gotten it. So the whole thing is a mess, a disorganized mess,
Right.
and a horrible just execution.
It reminds me of. It's like a spin-off to me of like a Mega Man. It's a platform. It's a good game.
Well, this is the creator of Mega Man.
Right, and the thoughts were there. I think the execution was not. It was like you said, buggy. People are not happy with it. I think it's going to fall on its face, and it's going to be a great disappointment. And that's what's going to suck is that not everyone's going to get their money's worth.
I think it is the biggest disappointment with the promise of what it was, with the build-up, and with the people behind it.
Correct. Yep. Next topic? Yep. Alrighty, so I'm going to go with here, the heavy MOBA world. MOBAs are, of course, a platform of game where you have to... It's typically a 5 versus 5. You have waves, you have mobs, and everything of that sort. So with updates that are coming out now, like Smite just got a big update, and literally their interface is pretty much exactly like League of Legends. It's kind of interesting. Same style games, different type of experience. You have, of course, Smite, League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, Paragon, which is another great game, which I have been playing. Watch the stream. And a lot of these games typically are free to play, and you could buy in-game content. That's how they're going to kind of generate their money. But so with all this being said, with these updates and everything now, what games, like I've played almost all of them, or majority of the big names. There's such a heavy competition in it now.
And the cream rises to the top, and I think League of Legends will and always is still and will probably always be for a very long time the top MOBA. I think it is a niche market that while it is ginormous for people to watch, it's still a niche market for people to play and follow. It's just like any football organization trying to compete with NFL. They are going to fail because while it has a very large audience, that audience is there's only room for one. And I think Dota is sticking around because there's a hardcore cult following, and that's great.
Right.
But games have tried again and again now to get into the mobile market because of the money it produces, and I think it is failing. It is just like all the clones that came out with World of Warcraft during the MMO craze, and unless you were completely different and hit a different niche market, you're going to fail, and all these games are trying to be the MOBA that League of Legends is, and they are failing.
Boom.
Next up, we have the Steam Summer Sale, guys. It is here till July 4th, so please take advantage of it. It is amazing, man. Every time a Steam sale comes out, my wallet is running thin. I just got Darkest Dungeon, I got Mark of the Ninja, and I got Rogue Legacy for $24. These games are great. I mean, there's some big ones on here. Left 4 Dead 2, 80% off, $3.99. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, we got what else? Final Fantasy franchise. All the Final Fantasy franchise games are 50% off. The Division, 25% off for $44.99. There's some really great games here. Let's see. We got Doom is 40% off for $35.99. Fallout 4 is $29.99 for 50% off. You have, let's see,
This has to be amping their sales. I mean, big time.
Oh yeah, they do it every year. The stick of truth, $7.49 for 29. That was $29.99, so 75% off. Undertale $6.99 at 30% off. Let's see, some games that are under $5. We got Battle Block Theater, which I was playing for $2.99. We have
Nice.
Witcher 3 is on sale. Hotline Miami for $3.74. We got Hand of Fate for $7.49. The Witcher 2 for $2.99.
Did you just say Witcher 3 is under $5?
No. The Witcher 3 has its own
Okay.
sale,
Percentage.
I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, there's a ton of stuff up there. I think these summer sales are great for everybody that is into games, and I really enjoy every time it comes around.
Yeah, because you can sit there and even go to throw back some old games that you want to play. You're like, oh, I remember playing that. A few bucks, $2, whatever.
Yeah,
You
The
know,
Witcher 3
oh,
is
I can have that-
50% off. It's $25.
Yeah.
If you haven't
Well,
played it yet, check it out. I mean, you're not going to find it cheaper than that.
right. And that's what I like about these sales, is that you can really re-experience those games that you haven't played in years, you know.
Yep.
So it'll be a good idea to purchase.
Totally.
Alrighty, so our last topic here on this little thing that we're doing here today is Counter-Strike being sued, which is crazy. I know you've heard about this, Clay.
Yep.
And basically what it is that it's due to illegal gambling that surrounds the CSGO, which is crazy because it is, from reading and finding out about it, it's reportedly part of a $2 billion business. So, like, that's insane. That's so much money. So, to really dive into it, it's all about in-game content like skins and items and stuff like that being used as like a currency. You know, you can unlock things and kind of trade with people for real money. So, Valve, basically the suit alleges directly profits from transactions that are tied to gambling. So with this being said, it's a huge market that even teenagers are a part of, like getting into gambling.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah. It's a tricky situation. Online gambling has just really brought itself a ton of controversy, especially with the fantasy football stuff that we were talking about earlier. The country doesn't really know how to regulate it because it's this online atmosphere. So there certainly is some stuff that they need to figure out and kind of find to see if stuff is really illegal or not. If people are taking advantage of it, or are they finding loopholes, or is it a scam kind of deal?
Right.
So it's really it's interesting. It's a newer thing that people need to figure out.
Yeah, and they're allowing like Steam to link to third parties, and that's why this is all happening. And they knowingly know this is happening. So, and that's the other crazy part, is that with this lawsuit, is it going to trickle down into other games or under other creators? It could open up Pandora's box.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what you have for the 2 minutes per topic. It is a round robin of stuff. Yeah, this was really good. So this is us doing the news as our final topic, and that is going to be it for the Everything and Nothing show. As always, you can check out each topic 1 through 5, Monday through Friday, and the full episode with all the topics are on Saturday on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Maelstrom Gamers channel. Check that out. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. It is super helpful and appreciative to get our name and our conversations out there and our content out there. It's a free way to support us. A paid way to support us is go to patreon.com/MaelstromGamers, and you can check out all the rewards that we have for you for as little as $1 of support. Additionally, we have our shop up at Zazzle.com/MaelstromGamers. You can get t-shirts. You can get we'll eventually have mugs and mouse pads and stuff like that. But right now we have a couple of custom-made t-shirts, so check it out. Trollface Steve is one of my favorites. Backdoor t-shirt is another one of my favorites. We should be having more of that come to you pretty soon. We also are streaming games, so remember to check us out on our YouTube, streaming Division, streaming League of Legends, streaming Smite, streaming Uncharted, and then if you're sick of watching us, come play with us, because we want to play with you. We're not the best. We're certainly not the worst. We are entertaining.
Entertaining.
That's right. So we got to figure out a better way to do that. And so, yeah, so we'll be back with another 5 topics next week. In the meantime, keep thinking about everything and nothing. It's been an honor to entertain you. Peace. Take care.
Adios. Has a major stake in League of Legends. They're stating that they're going to keep the game or the, what is it? Supercell, yeah, Supercell as its own entity and everything. They're going to still work and do everything on their own. So they say. So it's going to really, I think it might bring a little bit of change to the game at some point. But they actually bought 84.3%.
84.
So they are
84. Wow.
Yeah. So a huge stake in it. So and honestly, in the past, when other things are bought and everything, yeah, you're gonna have some influence on it. So, do you play Clash of Clans? I don't know if you've ever
played it for 2 years straight, never spent a dime, and it took me 2.5 years to get to the second to last tier.
Right. I did the same exact thing.
Here's our timer. So you can hear it, you said, right? Really well.
Yep.
I'll try to put it up closer to the mic. At 2 minutes, we are done with this topic. So we're gonna have a couple topics that we're gonna run down, and when we are done, when 2 minutes are up, we are done, and we move on to the next one.
Yeah, this is kind of inspired by Pt.5.
Yeah.
So hopefully it goes well, and I think you guys will enjoy it.
All right. So let's get started here. Oculus Rift, as early as March, when you had a Vive, an HTC Vive, which is the Valve's 3D VR experience, you could download Oculus apps and play them. Then, in around May or April, Oculus applied DRM to their software and was disallowing people who had a different VR headset to play Oculus apps. Let's do, you want to do some news?
Let's do it.
All right. So our final topic is going to be a pilot for something that we hopefully want to do eventually. So if you guys enjoyed it, let us know. But what we're going to do is, man, I'm going to change this. We need a 2 minute like timer thing that goes purr when it goes off. So I think I'm going to do, no. Bolton, did that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's actually, I mean, for me at least, I can hear it pretty well. So.
Oh wow, no, I'm not doing that. All right, let's do Bolton. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Cool.
Setting it. Okay, so here recently now though, Oculus has Polygon and Kotaku have reported that Oculus has lifted the DRM restrictions completely and allowed people who have a Vive to play Oculus apps. I think this is pretty cool.
Great.
I think you need to do this. I don't like splitting the small niche market as it is right now into 4 different separate VR headsets only is only going to hinder the consumer's experience and hinder the developers' outreach to get great games and apps in front of people to help build this industry and what it needs to be, right? So it's in their best interest to share and allow people to experience it across platform.
And if you think about it, I mean, it's literally not really groundbreaking, but it's bringing back virtual reality. And they all kind of have to get together and work as a team to build this, or it's just going to fall flat on its face.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're going to sit there and then go, oh, I have my stuff, you have your stuff. It's just like the beginning of gaming, quite honestly. Granted, yeah, now you have consoles, but at first, you really just want to build that core group of people. So if you hinder it and kind of put those restrictions on it, people won't flock to it. I'm already kind of skeptical about it. I don't think I'm not a big virtual reality guy. I don't like going to see 3D movies and stuff like that as well. So if you really think about it, build it, work as a team.
Yeah, work as a team. And look, the current and like the other thing too is Oculus is going to get really they're going to get bad PR flack. The Vive doesn't have this. A lot of the people don't have this, so we should, open it up.
Right, and if they all work
we're out of time. We got to start. We got to go next. All right, you're up.
Okay, so Clash of Clans was just bought by Tencent, which